Half expected to wake up to a bear or a moose sighting or something. Part of the reason I stopped last night was I just wasn't feeling it. It was getting cold, the rocks were getting rough, etc. Also, I like this spot. Good chance of sun first thing in the morning. Well, that doesn't bode the best. We'll see, maybe I'm gonna get wet today. Yeah, probably not another free and clear day. Oh well. This was a nice camp. I did have an ATV's lights hit me at about 6 a.m. this morning. It's the only one I've heard though. It has actually felt pretty isolating up here. Today I'm gonna be heading over another 12K pass, peak, shoulder sort of thing. So we'll see how far I get, but I'm not assuming I'm gonna make it into Crested Butte for sure. Stopping here last night was kind of a spontaneous decision, but I really wasn't feeling it. It was getting cold. And again, with this sort of vegetation, I associate like seeing moose. So I was kind of hopeful if I stayed next to an open area, I might have a view in the morning. But oh well, today is going to be more climbing, not like yesterday was flat. It felt like I descended into that valley, but there was a fair amount of up and down through the dirt bike course. And then even once I was on that road, I was climbing pretty steadily. And then right at the end of the day, Taylor Pass Road, that had me climbing pretty significantly. I stopped maybe a mile shy of Taylor Lake, which is the northwestern point of this current wiggle, and then I go southwest for a while before that down to Crested Butte, and then I go northwest again. There is certainly a fall vibe starting to hit out here with the colder nights and the color change. I have been tempted the last 2 mornings to hike out of camp with my long johns. Similar to my extra wide problematic feet and other things, I tend to have slightly more complications than some. You know, like Jen barely sweats. I get soaked. So I'm kind of reluctant to get something like my long johns wet. They are performance wear. I mean, if they are soaking wet, they still deliver some warmth, unlike cotton, where you're better off naked than having anything cotton on you if you're wet. However, it is still a moisture management issue. If I suddenly get rained on, my long johns get wet and they don't have a chance to dry by the end of the day, I'm climbing into a down bag with wet long johns. Now, I will dry them overnight. You kind of bake them out just with body heat. Then the moisture transfers into your sleeping bag. Some of it comes out, but it tends to be something I try and avoid if possible. The one cold weather layer I haven't pulled the trigger on is my down pants. I have those as a sleeping layer when it gets really, really cold. I have looked at getting like an alpha fleece bottom, but I'm not sure I really see the advantage. I might get a pair to play with at some point. So the down pants are the single most effective cold weather layer I own, quite frankly. I have played around with a lot of different stuff, and there's something that I push pretty hard on students for snow camp if they're worried at all about the cold, because yeah, they make a huge difference. I played around with cheaper options like, you know, fleece layers, an extra pair of long johns, but yeah, nothing beats puffy pants. And I have a Goose Feet gear pair that I basically wore out and ordered another one, which is about the biggest praise I can give a piece of gear. Now, eventually it's going to be cold enough where absolutely I will be hiking in my long johns. If the wind, ambient, etc. is making it where the inside of my thighs feel really cold, that's generally my trigger for, okay, I need to put more layers on. Now, I do also have rain pants. I am a huge believer in a rain skirt, and that orange ULA rain skirt is what I carry most of the year. However, I had a experience on Parkview Peak when I was on the CDT in 22 that convinced me, if I'm going to be in the Rockies, if I'm going to be screwing around, where more extreme weather is possible, that's the point where I want to switch to pants. When it isn't super cold, when it isn't super dry, the amount of sweat inside of the pants basically nullifies any sort of waterproof barrier. However, they are a good thing as far as an outer shell if it is really cold, if it is like sleeting, if you have ice building up on your long johns. I have long abandoned the fantasy of one piece of gear to rule them all. I have my general kit, and then I kind of expand it or contract it depending on where I am and what I'm doing. At least for me, I aim for around 20 pounds for my kind of warm weather kit, and that is not making any compromises like having to be a cold soaked person or no stove or anything like that. That is fully standalone, tent, stove, etc. And that works pretty good for me. So that means with water and food, I'm still in the 20s somewhere. Once it gets towards end of the year, I am more likely to be a base weight of mid 20s-ish. So I'm probably straying into 30 pounds at times if I'm fully loaded with water and fully loaded with food. I am a geek at heart. I do love fiddling with lighter weight gear, different gear, much to Jen's occasional frustration, especially these days because I don't have a whole closet or garage to fill with alternative pieces of gear. But the problem is, I've given up on following ultralight people in general. A lot of the stuff is just not durable enough for me. You would not believe how many pairs of ultralight trekking poles I have seen broken from participants coming on my, weekend Sierra excursions. I could go on at length on the varying limitations of DCF, EcoPack, Ultra, etc. versus the more traditional materials. And like I like to tell people, I used to be out, 40 some plus weekends a year, and I thought I wore things out quickly. Now I basically live on trail 9 months out of the year, and I kind of play on trail the remaining 3. And yeah, everything wears out quickly. And at the same time, my experience is having to deal with less than ideal circumstances, going through the Sierra with failing shoes and failed socks, for example, has made me very failure adverse. So the basic things I depend on, base layers, etc., the moment they start to show strain where I know they're going to fail, I have a replacement. So the shorts I'm wearing, for example, I think I can get through the rest of the trip on, but I have a spare pair waiting at my parents to be tossed in with some shoes if it fails. Same thing with my Jolly gear. I would be perfectly happy if this one lasts. However, when the material starts to shred, I'm not going to use it where it has holes in it, where I'm having to deal with pack rub and other things. I guess weight-wise, my rule of thumb is if I find myself stopping, talking to people, and realizing that I could have put my pack down 15 minutes ago, but I just forgot, that's about the weight I need to be. Anything lower than that is just bonus. My personal opinion is social media has often pushed people to gear that's too light, too small, etc., due to kind of peer pressure. And some of those folks, at least, that are advertising, oh, this is all you need, they do very specific types of trips. The amount of people I see trying to jam into 40-liter TD tiny packs, because that's what they've been told they need by people online. And then they have to have the outside pockets jammed full of things fall out. Look at the amount of lost gear that happens every year on the trail. Somebody lost tent poles a few days back, actually, and they had to down climb an entire pass to get them back. That's why, even though I could be using a circuit, I could be using something smaller. I like the ULA Catalyst. It is a huge sack. I can fit absolutely everything inside, and that becomes important when you start bushwhacking, because brush can snag things, and all of a sudden that expensive tent is lost somewhere behind you. And if you look at my pack from, I don't know, Maryland to Kansas, it looked like I could have easily downsized. But then you hit sections like this where you need cold weather gear, or sections like the Bob Marshall Wilderness or the Sierra Nevada. When I did the PCT, Jen and I did the big carry from Kennedy Meadows up till Mammoth, which that's another one of my unpopular opinions, like the Black Hills, where I think that is the way to go, and it is a complete waste to go out Kearsarge and, down into the desert of the east side and then climb all the way back up. Want my pack not to be super tight, hard to pack, and I want to have some flexibility so I can do things beyond just hostel and town hopping. Doing all your morning chattiness while huffing and puffing straight up a hill in the morning is tight. I could have done with a few more days of sunshine. Oh well. I have been seeing some ice patches on the road, so at least part of this canyon was around freezing. And welcome back to 11,500. I kind of figured if I came up here to the lake, I would be able to find a place to camp, but at least what I was seeing down there, the legit sites were few and far between. And unlike the people making tracks like that, I do happen to believe in LNT and try not to be an asshole. Hey, there's a mom and she's got a calf. I just saw its head pop up. Oh yeah, you can just see his ears. Hey there. Don't mind me. Oh, I love big critter encounters. Moose, bears, mountain lions. You respect them, you stay back, but it's just cool to see. Makes you wonder how many times you walk by something like this and just don't notice. So, okay, I guess if I'd come up here, maybe I would have had a better chance at a moose sighting, but oh, that made my morning. I'm not exactly missing Kansas at the moment. I am, however, missing switchbacks. A few of the people that I was talking to are probably setting up and trying to do the collegiate high-low route today. I really hope they're able to do the high route. It's so cool. The Mirror Lake alternative, where, you can see it down below, and it's fine, but that was just one of those really memorable days out here. I will say, some days like this where I'm up high, staying high with, shall we say, variable weather, I am a little envious of the ATV guys' ability to button up, get out of the weather, and run down slope quickly. I can always tell myself, hey, worst case, weather gets too bad, dive into the trees, get the tent out, get in everything. But the reality is I'm pretty reluctant to do that. I did do it when I came back to the CDT in 23 in the first couple of days, because I just had heavy soaking rain for like 5 hours, worked its way through everything. I was getting cold, and it's kind of like, yeah, okay, time to get dry. In an ideal world, I would have been up here last night, would have set me up a little better, and I would have been sure to get into a hotel room. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do. I'll see where I am around 5 o'clock. I may have to do the Idaho Springs style camp before town, go in, resupply, sit around by a wall plug for a while. As always, power tends to be my big limiter. I was assuming Crested Butte was going to be a recharge stop, so I did splurge and talked to Jen for a few hours on Hope Pass, which, you know, that ate up like a day's worth of battery, basically. Twin was fun because I got to talk to a lot of CDT and Colorado Trail hikers, but it always bugs me just sitting around in town burning time. I'd much rather be out and then just work town to town, getting in the evening, staying in a hotel, and then all ready to go and everything's done the next morning. Oh yeah. I'm basically going up this canyon and crossing a shoulder at 12K or so, 12.5, something like that. And it has gotten to me at last. I finally had to pull out my rain gear because it started sprinkling hard enough. Oh, I do love the high country. One might be heartened by the sunshine. Except it's raining and it's coming up the canyon behind me. It's great when it's not horrible. So I'm guessing that's me over that pass there. Damn it. Missed the turn somehow. Oh well, what's better than gain? More gain. Okay, I was just having too much fun climbing. I remember seeing this out of my corner of my eye and thinking, oh, drainage ditch, but no, ADT route. I have to check the map so often out here. It's kind of like, it's basically like the CDT where you couldn't rely on anything, except at least on the CDT, you had the emblems so you could occasionally relax just enough to like screw yourself over. I actually have the action button on my iPhone, which is a button you can program, you know, side hardware button that you can program to do anything, to just launch Gaia. That way I pull it out, point it vaguely at my face, squeeze that button, and boom, the map is open for me. I was all alone up here till that mountain biker. And as usual, weather doesn't know what the heck it's doing. Switchback? What's the switchback? And that is how you get your morning wigwam on. Oh, that was so much nicer than yesterday. Oh, good. More storm clouds. Oh, screw you, birds. Okay, so I climbed up to 12,350 or so, and then it looks like for most of the day I'm going to be descending. I still have better part of 20 miles to go, unfortunately. But hey, Crested Butte is in the 8,000s. Seems like it's been a while since I've been down that low. And here we go again. It actually got hard enough the umbrella had to come out. And I just went full bore. And this is kind of nasty at the moment and cold. I mentioned how glad I am to have an umbrella on this trip. I think there might have been somebody on a horse up here getting rained on with me. I never saw any sight of them, but the footprints look like they are post-rain. Well, crap. I haven't wanted to filter because it's been all like beaver dams and cows. They gave me some drinking water, so that should get me into town. Oh, you guys want to be fed, that's it. Well, shit. That was damn close. I mean, the good news is I'm in a valley, not up on a ridge or something, but I have been more gun shy of lightning than I used to be ever since Mississippi and a couple other things. I just swapped layers and got my umbrella ready because looks like we're going for another round. Storms are really great at motivating me not to take breaks. Since I'm in the sun for the moment, that's what I'm doing. And rainbow for taters. Oh, nothing like bonus gain. Just taking that dirt road down to the highway and into town. That would have been boring. So if I wasn't due for a town stop, this would be pretty much perfect. Camp here and then go into town in the morning. But I need to charge batteries, maybe do laundry, a couple other things, because it's going to get a little sparse from here to Grand Junction. Huh. This is different. Okay, I assume that's Crested Butte. I am really hoping I can get hot food tonight. I got nothing other than bars if I have to snack in the hotel room. It has just been one storm after another today. Okay, made it into town. Got a hotel on the south end, but I'm gonna make a beeline for Mexican food because I am craving hot food. Okay, I am fed. Now to find the hotel. I went for Mexican food. The guys were really nice. Some of the locals were chatting with me too. I am kind of in a hurry to get to the hotel and get off my feet though. I always have some paranoia around late arrivals in hotels that are not major chains since I've been burned or nearly burned before. I somehow thought there were going to be more hotel options in this town. Not too many, and it's a $200 hotel room, but at the moment, I really do not care. Okay. That was a long day.